Nope. Good evening, Facebook. Tonight's lesson is how to administer subq fluids for a sick cat. This video I'll do in two parts. This first part is going to be just how to set up your bag. This is your bag of fluids. Usually what you're going to use is Normasol R, and this is the kind of bag it comes in. What you need to do is just cut open your bag. And here's your IV bag. What you want to look for is you want to make sure it looks clear. You don't want to see any yellow. Give it a couple squeezes. Make sure there's no holes or leaks in it. Okay? So this bag looks good. Normasol R. This is what we're going to use. This is our line. If you see right here, you're going to want a 10 drops milliliter. That's the kind of line that you're going to want to use with this bag. Again, just open it up, take out your line, pull it apart, and this is the end. We're going to insert into this bag. But first, before we do that, we're going to put a needle on the other end. That's down here. Your needles are going to come in different gauges. And now, unlike other things, with these gauges, it's the higher the number, the smaller the gauge. This is 18 gauge. You can use this on some, you see how thick that one is. You can probably use this on some dogs and maybe some, you know, cats that have a very, very thick coat to them. And this is your 20 gauge. Now this is an all-purpose one that I usually use for the kitties. Oh, these things are a pain in. Alright, well, we'll leave that there. And this is our 22 gauge. This is the smallest of all. This you'll probably want to use on maybe kittens or very, you know, small cats. But that's the 22 gauge. You can purchase these needles either through your vet or you can go online. Usually you get a box of them for $100, and they're pretty inexpensive. But for this case, we're going to use the pink one. What you do to your end of your line, you remove this. That goes in here. And then it goes in there, and then you're just going to take this and just screw it on. Now our needle is on. This, we need to put this in this end of the bag to set up the line. What you're going to do is you're going to plop that out. Be careful, don't let that spill over. Plop that out, and it goes right in like that. Before you start turning it over, this is going to be your stop line. When it's all the way up like that, the water's running freely. You can adjust the speed by putting it down until you get it all the way down is off. But for this setup tonight, I need this close to me and close to where I'm going to be holding the needle at. So I'm going to pull it down a little bit. I'm going to shut the line down for right now. And I'm going to turn this bag over like that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze right here. You see how a little bit of water's filling up? You want to make it about halfway filled. Alright, so you got your bag. Got that halfway filled. One last step. I forgot to grab this. Pardon me. Alright, get yourself a glass. Take Take the needle off. Be careful, do not touch this with your fingers. They are very sharp. And what we want to do now, usually I wouldn't let a needle sit down like that. I'd have somebody helping me, but for today's purposes, I'm going to let it sit. And what we're doing now is I've opened up the line all the way. And what I want to do is get all of the air bubbles. You can see them in the line. And what you want to do is get all the air bubbles out. It's okay if you're doing subqs if a tiny air bubble gets through. It's going to make the cat uncomfortable, but it won't kill them. But for the comfort of the cat, take a minute to drain it first into a glass and make sure all the air is out of the line. Okay. And then we're just going to roll it down to shut it off. Put our cat back on our needle. And we now have an IV bag that is ready to use.